Francis, you got your whole crew on this call, don't you?
Yeah, half of the crew.
Got the A team. But JC and I know there's only really one A team.
It's all about power, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Don't you forget it.
I preferred it when JC was muted.
That's awful mean, I tell you.
JC, he is a mean person, but he's a good guy.
Oh, he's absolutely a good guy. I've known him for 20 years, I think.
He's the one that my second day as an auditor, he called me an agroid. Giving me a hard time for being an OSU fan.
Started saying agroid, I'd have to get the dictionary out on that one.
Yeah, that's just giving me a hard time, but all good. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Regina, do we know if anyone's going to be absent today?
I haven't been notified.
Okay, well, Paul, we're just missing Jacqueline Ames, even though she has logged into Prime Gov, and Ken Culver is not here.
Good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Morning, Jason. So it is 10 o'clock. Whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Okay. Thanks for joining us for the Oklahoma City Employee Retirement System video conference meeting. We have a few announcements to make regarding this virtual meeting. If the video conference is disconnected at any time during the meeting shall be stopped and reconvened once the audio connection is restored. If communications are unable to be restored within 30 minutes, items remaining for consideration will be continued to today, September 10th at 11 a.m. via video conference. The agenda and documents are located on okc.gov. Anyone wishing to speak about an agenda item, public hearing, or to speak under comments from citizens must call 405-297-2391 or text 405-219-7927 or email cityclerk@okc.gov to be allowed to speak. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to comment. Speakers will not be able to unmute themselves, so you must sign up to speak and the secretary will unmute your device when you are recognized. With that, I will call the meeting to order. Item number 2 on our agenda is a resolution of commendation for Renee Hutton. I don't believe that Renee is joining us this morning, so I will ask the secretary to read the resolution.
Resolution of the Oklahoma City Employee Retirement System commending Renee Hutton for her many years of public service. Whereas Renee Hutton was hired on September 1st, 1993 as Retirement System Manager for the Oklahoma City Employee Retirement System and has been serving the retirement system members in that role for over 27 years. And whereas Renee holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from the University of Oklahoma and brought her financial background, high business acumen, and professionalism to the position. And whereas during Renee's tenure, the retirement system's assets under management grew from $148 million to over $750 million. The number of retirees grew from 900 to over 1,600, all while the funding level has gone from 87% funded in 1993 to 96% funded in 2019. And whereas Renee has attained the certification of achievement in public pension policy through the International Foundation of Employee Benefits Plans for knowledge and expertise in public pension plans. And whereas Renee has demonstrated her dedication to the system by staying apprised of pension topics through her attendance at various educational opportunities provided by professional pension organizations. And whereas Renee has always been dedicated to the sound management of the system to ensure that city employees have a sustainable retirement and are well served. Whereas Renee has performed her duties as retirement system manager with excellence and in the best interest of the members. Now therefore be it resolved by the trustees of the Oklahoma City Employee Retirement System that they do hereby acknowledge the fine contribution of Renee Hutton and commend her for her many years of public service.
Okay, Francis, do we need to vote on this?
Yes, Paul, we do.
Given the chair will entertain a motion, have a motion and a second. Please record your vote. It is approved 7-0. Okay. Moving along, item number 3 is to approve the minutes of the meeting of August 13th, 2020. I have a motion and a second on item 3. Please record your vote.
Francis, I can see Jackie on the list now.
Yes, she's here.
Took forever to get on.
Okay, I'm waiting for everybody to vote on item number 3.
Jackie, do you have your voting buttons?
Find it. Of course not.
You can press escape or go to your Chrome icon and click on it at the bottom of your screen. It should pop
There
up.
it is. Found it.
Item passes unanimously. Item number 4 is the consent docket. We have one item. I have a motion and a second on item 4. Please record your vote. Item approved unanimously. Item 5 is to ratify approvals. We have 2 items. I have a motion and a second on item 5. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item number 6 is to approve the claims docket. I have a motion and a second. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item number 7 is to approve the following applications for service retirement. Motion and a second. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item number 8 is to receive the report of death, authorize payment of the $5,000 death benefit, and approve continuation of pension to spouse. I have a motion and a second on item 8. Please record your vote. Item is approved unanimously. Item number 9 is to receive the report of death, authorize payment of the $5,000 death benefit, and authorize secretary to make necessary changes to conform on the following. Have a motion and a second on item 9. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item 10.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can we go back? I believe there was an amendment on item 7. Regina, could you tell us which item? I want to make sure everyone's clear that the motion included the amended item.
Case number 3681 for Floyd Anderson should be no option. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay. Item number 10 is to receive report of death, authorize secretary to make necessary changes to conform on the following. Have a motion and a second on item 10. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item number 11 is to approve the following application of vested rights. Have a motion and a second on item 11. Please record your vote. Item is approved unanimously. Item number 12 is items for individual consideration. We have one item. Item 12A is a form incumbency certificate designating Regina Story as an authorized signatory. Motion and a second on item 12. Please record your vote. Items approved unanimously. Item number 13 is the investment consultant report. Jason.
Thank you, Paul. I'm going to try to share my screen. Thought I pulled it up. There we go. Can everybody see the monthly report? Okay. Well, I'll try not to take too long. We had another very good month of August, which you'll see reflected in these numbers. I guess the number when Renee retired, I think that Francis read was 750 million, and you're just under 800 million as of the end of the month of August. The first few days of September, we've seen some volatility and rotation in the market with some of the mega cap technology names giving up some value over the last few days and to bounce back a little bit yesterday, but not surprising as we've talked about. That dispersion between growth and value over the last year has been as big as we have ever seen. In large cap, it's close to 40% differential between large cap growth and large cap value. Within small cap, it's similar. So seeing a little bit of a reversion to the mean, if you will. Looking forward, really the drivers for value to really start to increase in value are rates stabilizing or going up, which has significant impact on financials, and just overall economy improving. While we've seen valuations in equities come up quite a bit over the last several months from the bottom in March, still a lot of uncertainty related to the economy and economies opening up as we're seeing in a number of different locations. From an asset allocation standpoint, really at or near targets. The overweight to equities is a function of the underweight to real assets, which is something we can't immediately allocate to. And it's primarily that closed-end opportunistic real estate allocation. Currently, the opportunities there, we are evaluating a number of strategies, much like in the private equity space, and anticipate bringing some opportunities to you in the next few months. Overall, you still have about 9.3 million in cash. We did raise some cash at the beginning of August, trying to keep enough cash to cover about a quarter of benefit and or operating expenses. When we raise cash for your operating needs, we do it from what's overweight, really a function of the asset allocation and the targets, trying to bring risk back to targets. So we did raise 7.5 million in the beginning or end of June, I'm sorry, and 10 million in the beginning of August from the S&P 500 index fund, which you can see that large cap is the biggest overweight. From a performance standpoint, numbers look very good. We've seen a really big bounce back from mid-March through the end of August. So on a calendar year to date, net of fees, the portfolio is up just under 5% at 4.91% relative to your policy index at 3.76%. So about over 100 basis points of excess return relative to what the asset allocation would suggest. And that's really coming from all areas of the portfolio. Large cap, which is predominantly passive, and then the Intech strategy, which is benchmark risk controlled, although based on their mathematical approach that they take, that strategy tends to overweight some of the smaller cap names in the large cap sector. And those have performed a little bit better more recently, did underperform a bit in the downturn, but that's where you're getting that excess return over that calendar year to date period. Within small cap, you'll see continued significant excess return in small cap. Much of this is due to Earnest Partners. While Earnest Partners is filling the slot of a small to mid cap exposure within the value space, their approach tends to be more relative value. In the recent period, they have been underweight to the deeper value sectors that have been hurt the most: financials, real estate investment trust, and they have a little bit more exposure to growth oriented sectors while still allocating to names that are a little bit less expensive than the market. That exposure has really helped them. So their 1 year return is up 8% relative to the value benchmark, which is down 5%. So that's really helping. Long short equity, we have benefited in the downturn to the tune of about 400 basis points on a year to date basis. As the market has bounced back, as we would expect, trailing in the uptick of the market. But overall, this has been a positive on a year to date basis. International, both developed and emerging, have performed very well. Your international developed, while not up as much, up 1% year to date, 12.5% on a trailing 1 year, significantly outperforming the EFI benchmark. And that's really coming from both managers. Once again, your value manager, Lazard, doing a little bit better than the value component. And then the growth manager, Harding Loevner, has done very well in this market dominated by growth equities. They're up almost 18.5% on a trailing 1 year, whereas the benchmark's up. The global benchmark that they're benchmarked to is up a little under 9%. Your emerging market managers have done extremely well. While you have two managers there, Wells and Wasatch. Wells tends to be more mid to large cap names within emerging markets, and Wasatch is a small cap emerging markets manager, which tends to be much more growthy in their approach. As a result, they've really benefited in this period. Up on a 1 year basis, Wasatch is up 31%. While it's a much smaller allocation overall, you have 5% target to emerging markets. It's been a nice contributor. And finally, fixed income and real estate, while on an absolute basis, looking at the 1-year returns, much more modest than equities. Certainly provided protection in the first quarter when equity markets sold off. But also you're getting a little bit more return from your fixed income portfolio, which is nice to see. In a period of time where rate sensitivity has been the biggest driver of returns, you have, as we've talked about, less sensitivity to rates. Number one, with the PAMCO portfolio that's being liquidated, but also the Brandywine global bond portfolio. But in the more recent period, those have bounced back quite nicely. You've gotten a nice bump there. So overall, just again, certainly a different feel as we look at these numbers compared to where we were in February, March, and even April, looking on 1-year basis. But from a manager standpoint, very comfortable with where things are, and performance is looking good. In terms of the transition, as you may recall, we did select a new liquid, so mutual fund, daily valued, absolute return strategy, or a more dynamic fixed income strategy, and that's the PGIM, or Prudential Global Investment Management strategy. That was funded at the beginning of September with proceeds that came from PAMCO. PAMCO will be liquidating over time. We received about $23 million from that at the end of, in the middle of August. That was then used to fund PGIM. The balance of this, we expect to get about another 20% of this PAMCO strategy back in October. And then that balance of $8 million will take some time because it's some less liquid positions, as well as a audit holdback that they hold back for their fiscal year audit to be completed. So that balance of that will take several months to come back to you all. So overall, things looking in good shape. Any questions on the report for the month? I do want to thank you all. I know a number of you attended the education session last week. Hopefully it was informative. We are doing another one tomorrow on the election. And then I'm working with Regina, and I said I'd get her some dates, and I will today, over the next few weeks, for a more focused new trustee education session for your board, just exclusive to the OSERS board. And we'll put out 4 or 5 dates. Hopefully we can get the 2 or 3 new trustees. And then I know there's 2 more trustees that are positions that are open, and rather than waiting, we can just do it a second time. We can do it a couple times if that works. So with that, that's all I have this morning. Unless there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Jason this morning? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great job as always. Okay, our next item on the agenda is item number 14, comments from board, staff, and citizens. As many of you are aware, we have an active election ongoing, which ends tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. to fill one of the vacant seats. And I will contact the mayor's office again for the 3rd time and see if there's been any movement on a appointment of a new trustee to fill Dennis Spencer's vacant seat. So that's all I have.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make the board aware that previously we had agreed to be a lead plaintiff in the pivotal litigation filed by the firm of Labaton Sucaro, and they have requested permission to dismiss that lawsuit And I'm going to advise them to do so because some of the rulings from the court are indicating that we probably won't be successful in that, pursuing that litigation. So the sooner we drop it, the better for us. So I wanted to make the board aware that we'll be dismissing that litigation.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I had something I wanted to just bring to the board. With Renee retiring and with the starting with a new tenure with Regina as our manager, one of the things that I would like for us to think about is continuity of operations as it comes to managing this almost $800 million system. And what I'd like for us to do is consider, I know there's within our pay plan, the ability to hire another person to be a backup to Regina. And I think I don't want to be in the same situation we've been in the last 6 months as we go forward. So I would just ask that we think about that and be diligent about that and do something about that sooner rather than later. So that's all.
couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And I had mentioned to Regina previously that once Renee is officially retired, we will set that ball in motion to go ahead and take steps to try to fill that third position. So,
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
any other comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned at 10:24. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.